Do this one thing to become the person you have always wanted to be. Okay, wait, here we go. Just these 3 steps will change your life forever. I can't, I can't do this without laughing. I can't. Okay. Use my 10 tips and tricks to finally reach the goal you've been working on for years. Okay. I'm not laughing, y'all. But I am laughing. Yes, I am laughing. I am laughing. Because why do we do this? Why do we do this, y'all? Why do we do this to each other? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we promise these instant results for things when we know that that's not how it works? We know that that's not reality. And we are not going to instantly be able to lose 50 pounds with this one magic trick. And yet, we see these titles everywhere, and we see these videos and we click on them. We buy the self-help books. I'm guilty. I see it and I'm like, I wonder if they really figured out what are the steps that they've come up with that I haven't thought of. Why? There are no instant steps. Right? In all of my 30 years in working in mental health, 15 of those as a licensed clinical psychologist in private practice, actually working with people who are working on their goals, right? Not once have I ever promised or delivered a step or a set of steps that has given somebody instant results. Not once. And it's not because I don't have the skill set or because I don't know. It's because they don't exist. And yet, what I have done in those many years and with individuals I've worked with is I have helped them understand that the process to achieving those goals is smaller steps consistently, right? Establishing some consistent habits will ultimately get people to that goal. Not some 1, 3, 5, 10 tips and tricks that's going to give instant results. No. Consistency. Small steps towards that goal will get them there. And so I adopted this a very long time ago when I was working on my dissertation. Prior to that, when I was doing my doctoral work, I had an established study schedule. I studied from 9 p.m. to midnight. That was my study schedule. It worked for me. I got through the coursework lightning speed with no problems. When I got to the dissertation, that took a little bit more discipline because you are kind of out there on your own. There's no specific deadline. There's no, if you don't get something done by the end of the week, you are gonna get a 0 grade or you're not gonna pass a class. There's none of that. You are self-motivating. And if you don't do it, there really are no repercussions other than you just feeling bad that you are taking longer to get it done. And of course, the cost, because you are paying to be enrolled in school and working on this thing. And so when I got to the dissertation phase, I came across a book titled, I'm not sure the exact title, but it was Getting Your Dissertation Done in 10 Minutes a Day or something to that effect. I don't even remember the details of the book. What I do remember getting out of that book, the message I got that has stayed with me to this day, is that you have to do something consistently every day in order to get it done. And so as it related to my dissertation, I had to work on something every day. I had to keep it fresh on my mind all the time because it could be very easy to miss a day, and then missing a day became a week, and missing a week became a month. So always having to do something. Now, was it 10 minutes a day? No, because it took me 10 minutes just to gather my data and set up my computer and get everything organized in my workspace. So it wasn't necessarily 10 minutes a day, but it wasn't 3 hours a day either. It was just being able to do something every single day. And so I have carried that kind of into my life and incorporated it in other areas of my life. So if you follow me on any other platform, you may notice on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, I am sharing a decluttering challenge for the month of January. And what that looks like simply is I have selected the numbers 1 through 31 that coincide with the days of the month. And for me, I just pick a number randomly. And whatever number that is the number of items that I am going to declutter and purge from my home. Whatever I choose to do with that. If it's something that needs to be thrown away, I will throw it away. If it's something I can give to someone, I will do that. Or if it just needs to be donated, then I will do that as well. And so that's kind of the big purge. You spend that month really digging in. And for that challenge, by the end of the month, it's 396 items from my home that I have decluttered and purged. And so I do that in the month of January. That's like the big deal, right? The big declutter. But then what happens after that month? What do you do to maintain it? And that's where this whole kind of concept of 10 minutes a day really comes into play. Now, I will say the decluttering, that pretty much takes 10 minutes. It doesn't take very long for me to find the items. It probably takes me longer to set up and record my findings and post them than it does to actually find the items, because I know what I have around that needs to go. But even if it did take you a little bit longer, that's just the 1 month. And so after that, that's where the consistency comes in. So what I do is at the end of the day, before I settle in to go to bed, I take 10 minutes, usually takes me about 5, but in my mind, 10 minutes to just walk the house and clean up. So I make sure that things are picked up off the floor. If they need to be put away, they're put away. If they need to be thrown away, they're thrown away. I make sure things are picked up off the surfaces, off the countertops and the tables. Put it away or I throw it away. And I do a quick sweep in every single room. It goes by very quickly, but it keeps the spaces clean and clear from clutter. So then I don't really have to do this big decluttering every month. You just do these small things to keep it maintained. And so that's kind of how that is applied. And you can do that in all different aspects of your life. So say, for example, you are wanting to just clean. You want to keep your house clean. And when you think about all the things that are involved with cleaning a house, it can seem very overwhelming, right? You got to clean the bathrooms. You have to wash the dishes and do the laundry and sweep and mop the floors and vacuum if you have carpet. So there's all these things that you know need to be done. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to take me 3 hours to get all of these things done. Well, sure, if you're going to do them all at one time. But here's where 10 minutes a day plays into this. So what are the things that I can quickly do in the morning? I can put my laundry in the wash. That takes a few minutes. Later, put my laundry into the dryer. And then when it's dry, I can fold my clothes and put them away in less than 10 minutes. I have timed myself repeatedly. I know how much time it takes me to do that. So for me, I may put the clothes in the wash in the morning before I start getting ready. By the time I'm done showering and getting ready, the clothes have been washed. Now, if you're nervous about running your dryer when you're not home, then you wait until you come home from work or wherever, and then you throw the clothes in the dryer. By the time you've done your day, you've had your dinner or taken care of the kids or whatever you need to do, clothes are ready, you spend that less than 10 minutes to fold them up and put them away. I used to do that every single day. When my children were younger and we had a lot of clothes and athletic clothes and there was just a lot of laundry, it made sense to do that every day. Because when I calculated it out of my time, it literally was 10 minutes of my day. I'm doing other stuff while the clothes are washing. That's not time taken away from me. I'm doing other things while the clothes are drying. That is not time taken away from me. The actual time putting them in or transferring them from washer to dryer or folding them was 10 minutes. And because I did it so consistently, my loads were not so huge and overwhelming. They were smaller and more manageable, and I could fold them very quickly. So that was something that I incorporated that was just a very small amount of my time, but kept something from becoming big and overwhelming and really stressful, it kind of in my head. Same thing with, the dishes. In the morning, if you use your dishwasher, which I do not, but you load your clothes you load your dishes in the dishwasher, maybe at night, you run it. In the morning, you put those dishes away. It takes like 5 minutes to just put the dishes away. Now, I prefer to hand wash my dishes. And so at night, I will hand wash them. It's going to take me less than 10 minutes to hand wash those dishes. And then I probably will put them in the dishwasher after I wash them. Don't laugh. I'll put them in the dishwasher after I wash them and let them dry. And then in the morning, the same thing. I'm going to put them away. And that's 5 minutes. So now that's 20 minutes out of my whole day. I've got my laundry done. I've got my dishes washed. I know for me, because I've timed it many times, I can spot clean my bathrooms in 8 minutes. 2 minutes per bathroom. Wipe the sink down or the counters down. Wipe the mirror down. Wipe all the light switches. Swish out the toilet. Wipe the toilet down. If you do that every day, your bathroom stays clean. Now I clean the shower when I'm in the shower. Once I finish my shower, I'm cleaning the shower while I'm already in there. So that's not, in my mind, that's not extra time. But those other things, that's less than 10 minutes. All of my bathrooms are clean. You don't ever run out of toilet paper because you're checking everything. When they're getting low, you're switching them out when you're doing that really quick spot clean. And they're done. 30 minutes now. That's 30 minutes from my day. Floors might take me a little bit longer, but I might sweep the floor one day. I can sweep my floor in 10 minutes. I might Swiffer my floor one day. I might vacuum the floors upstairs one day. They're all going to take about 10 minutes. They really don't take that long. So these are just examples of how we can do something really small, take a small chunk of our time each day to get things done that will eliminate some of the overwhelm. That will prevent you from spending 3 hours on a Saturday or your Sunday sitting down and doing 5 loads of laundry or 6 loads of laundry, doing all the floors, cleaning all the bathrooms. Now you don't have to do all of that in one day and be exhausted. and then be overwhelmed because you see it building Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, right? So you don't have that stress in your head, and then you don't have to spend all of that time and energy in one day. Same thing for exercise. I mean, just using another example of exercise. Now, I truly did incorporate the 10 minutes a day with that because I felt so guilty if I did nothing. So if I knew I needed to work out or stretch or do yoga or whatever, and I did nothing, I felt bad. So I literally had to say to myself, just do 10 minutes, right? Am I going to lose weight doing 10 minutes of exercise? Probably not. But I might feel better because I'm doing some stretching, or I will just emotionally feel better because I did something. I had some form of movement rather than doing nothing. And then once you incorporate that 10 minutes and you realize, I can do this, I do have 10 minutes, you start to also realize you have a little more than 10 minutes. But you first have to establish the habit. And that really is what this does. This whole idea of 10 minutes a day does two things. One, it creates this mindset that this thing is important. It's important enough for me to think about or to do something with every single day. If I'm putting it on my calendar or I'm just reminding myself that this is something I have to do, it lets me know this is an important thing. And that really is just a mind shift, right? Really convincing yourself that this is so important that I want to think about it or do something about it every single day. So you're creating that mind shift, and then you're establishing the habit. And the habit, even if it's 10 minutes a day, it is telling your mind, I can do this and I have time to do this. And then what you realize is you really have more than 10 minutes. You probably got 30 minutes. You probably have an hour. But you had to just really get yourself into the habit of doing something every day with it. Then you're saying, you know what? Okay, I do have time. And guess what? This actually kind of feels good that I feel positive, feel like I'm achieving something. And then you begin to increase the time. And then you begin to see results. And we feel good about that. And we get excited about that. And now we're motivated to do more. That is how we get to that goal. Is that going to happen instantly? Absolutely not. Let's just get out of that mindset. Things are not, that's just not how we achieve our goals. Not the kind of big goals that we have in our minds. We're not going to get there instantly. There's no one thing to do. There's no 3 magic steps or 5 or 10 tips and tricks that are going to give you any kind of instant results. But will you ultimately get to that goal? Absolutely. Absolutely. You are going to get there. And you're going to feel good about it because doing something a little bit at a time is so much better than doing nothing at all.